Hey viewer, just wanted to say a few things before the video starts. If the YouTube algorithm somehow sent you here, welcome! My name is Anthony and this is my first time attempting a video essay. I've done a few videos before, some on here and others on a different channel, but this is the first time I've ever done a scripted video. I want to try experimenting different ways to make content about video games. If you like my style, be sure to stick around because I got lots more video ideas for the future. Enjoy! Katamari Damacy, one of the greatest games of the Gamecube era, is a game that I only recently got into. I was scrolling through the eShop since I had like $12 left from a gift card I got for my birthday, and found it for sale at about $10. I've heard good things from a variety of YouTube channels. Super Mega.
They didn't notice, so don't worry.
Okay.
Just don't make a scene or anything.
What are you?
Don't make a scene.
No!
So I wanted to give it a go. I can say now that it's probably one of the best $10 I've ever spent. I think I've just got like 10 hours at the making of the script, but that just proves how much I enjoyed it. So after playing it over the spread of a few months, I decided to start making this video to help me express my thoughts and feelings about Katamari to the world. I hope I can convince you, dear viewer, to try this game out for yourself. Without further ado, let's dive into the mad world of Katamari Damacy.
Katamari Damacy.
You know, I could make this a long ass section and read all the information from any Katamari wiki page, but that's boring. So instead, I want to just highlight some facts that will help me elaborate on future points. This guy right here is the creator of this fever dream of a world, Keita Takahashi. In college, he studied sculpting and aimed for a whimsy but humorous art style, a technique that he carried over later in his career. After he graduated college, he joined Bandai Namco to pursue his art through video games. He worked on many projects, one allowing him to develop characters that he later used in Katamari Damacy, the main character, the prince, and his dad, the king of all cosmos. From these designs, he was able to create a whole game centered around them. Katamari Damacy emphasizes Takahashi's value of humor and whimsy. Every aspect of the game oozes with his style, like the charmingly weird story, dialogue, and gameplay. The night before the start of the adventure, the King of all Cosmos destroys all the stars in the cosmos and the Earth's moon, for some reason. The King of all Cosmos is a stand-in for God in this universe, so let that sink in for a second. This thing right here is responsible for all the beauties and horrors of existence. He justifies the destruction of the stars and the moon by stating he felt one with the cosmos and the symphony of destruction. However, in the Japanese version, the king just outright admits that the destruction was from a drunken state. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like your parents beating you when they're drunk, except instead of destroying you emotionally, they blow up the moon. It's really the same thing. Look guys, it's the Katamari, the name of the game. Wow! Katamari means clumped, and combined with Damacy, pronounced Damacy in Japanese, yes I know my nerd, haha, means rolled up souls. The prince is literally going country to country and rolling up a bunch of different souls into the Katamari and subjecting them to the outer regions of space! Hooray! Meanwhile, there's the Hoshino family, which I just figured out is their name while I was making this video. The family consists of a son, a mom, a daughter, and a dad. As you progress through each level, you get a cutscene of the Hoshino family and their side story. It starts with the news reporting on the missing stars in the sky and the kids watching it on TV. The kids tried to explain the situation to their mother, but as in most cases, the mom just dismisses their claims. I mean, you could just look at the TV, mom. It's right there. Or hell, even look outside and clearly not see any stars in the sky. Well, then again, it's day, so... Anyway, the kid's father, an astronaut, launches to the moon today, so the rest of the family has to travel to the space station. And most of the cutscenes just consist of them traveling to the space station. Weirdly enough, the daughter of the Hoshino family seems to sense the presence of the cosmos. Every time you complete a constellation, a cutscene plays where the girl is just walking with her family until she suddenly stops and states that she feels the constellation you just completed is returning, and says a different thing depending on the constellation. It's never really explained why she can sense the cosmos. Even on the wiki, it just says that she somehow senses it. As you progress through the levels, the Princess Katamari appears more and more in the cutscenes and gets bigger. It's actually really disturbing as it paints the prince as a looming threat that only the kids see, while their blissfully unaware mother is just reading a magazine or something. In the end, everyone finally realizes the giant impending ball of doom that is about to take over the whole earth. But at that point, it's too late, and everyone gets rolled up into the Katamari and launched into space as the new moon. Instead of freaking out or dying from being in space where there's no oxygen, everyone seems to be chill with it. The Hoshino family even see it as a space vacation, sharing a similar experience to the prince and his family. And that's basically it. Everyone ends up having an epic time in space and doesn't seem to care about what the hell just happened to them, which I believe explains a lot about this game. Everyone just wants to live their best lives no matter the situation. Whether it's going to visit your dad while this giant pending ball of doom gets bigger and bigger, or exploring the world, they all just kind of roll with it. On the topic of rolling, let's move on to the actual gameplay. Also, just for reference, I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch version of the game. The controls differ based on the console you're playing on. The left and right joysticks are essential for playing the game, as they are what allow you to actually move your Katamari. If you want to move in a certain direction, you have to point both joysticks in that direction. Only moving one moves the prince around the Katamari, but not the whole Katamari itself. It's very chaotic when you first try it out, and you'll end up not moving in the direction you want to, running into a wall, or running into an object you can't pick up just yet, and causing all the objects that are already in your Katamari to fall out of it due to the collision. But once you learn it, it's more manageable. I do still sometimes miss an item here or there, but that's usually due to how fast the Katamari is moving. There's other neat stuff, like speeding up by moving the joysticks up and down, conversely, switching 180 degrees by pressing down on both joysticks, making a hard turn by moving one joystick down and the other up, getting flung into the air by pressing L, and going first person by pressing R. The only ones that I use in every level are the 180 degree trick with just the normal moving forward controls, but the other inputs allow you to get out of tight scenarios. I finished the level in the nick of time thanks to the speed up trick. Loading into the game, there are 3 different sections of the home screen: the home world, the 2-player versus, and the actual levels. Starting with the home world, it mainly serves for saving, settings, and scrolling through cosmetics. Cosmetics can be obtained throughout levels and can be equipped onto the prince, from scarves to guitars. I like the guitar, it makes him look snazzy. Next up is the multiplayer. There's not a lot to talk about here, other than it's just a simple versus to see who can roll up the most stuff in a 3-minute time limit. Although it's really fun to roll up your opponent when you're destroying them. The story of this game mode is explained as the king of all cosmos looking for the real prince, as he sucks and he can't even remember what his own son looks like. So he gets a bunch of the prince's cousins to try to figure out which one is his son. You and another player can choose which cousin you want to play as, who are all distorted variations of the prince. Some have longer heads, smaller heads, or are even a different gender. My favorite are the bunch of Johnson. He looks the stupidest, but I love him. Now for the main attraction, the actual main levels. On this part of the menu, you can select one of these stars that surround the earth to enter a level, hinting at where each level will take place. Before the level begins, the king shows up and says hello in the native language of the country before debriefing on some of its cool facts and the objective of the level. The goal of each level is to get to a certain size under the time limit. You start out small and work your way up to it. I love the variety of items that the game provides you with, as they apply their own levels of difficulty outside of the main goal. The item's size, weight, volume, and surface area are all factors into whether the Katamari can pick it up and how it changes the Katamari's movement. So let's say, for example, you want to pick up a long object like a pencil, and you pick it up from its eraser side. Now every time you want the prince to roll the Katamari, he has to go over the pencil, causing the Katamari to move differently depending on which side you picked up the pencil from. I've definitely had struggles with rolling up huge and or long objects that cause the Katamari to elevate, causing me to miss some stuff I want to pick up. Despite traveling worldwide, the items that are laid around are usually Japanese. I remember rolling around the Spain level and being surprised when I rolled up takoyaki and other Japanese food. The setting of every level is pretty basic, ranging from a house to a house plus a yard,
to a house plus a yard plus an attic, to a house plus a yard plus an attic plus a street, to a town, and then to a whole city. Kind of ruins the world building and immersion, but I look past that because the levels are fun as fuck. Also, I think it's kind of funny how basically what the game is saying is that the entirety of Spain is one house, or the entirety of Sweden is just a town. I don't know, it's kind of funny. I have a blast rolling around, picking up stuff and constantly growing bigger and bigger. Rolling to something bigger than me that I can't pick up provides me with my own goal for the level, which is to get bigger than an object so I can pick it up under the time limit. The game provides many of these goals as you continue to progress through the levels. The main objectives are actually pretty easy once you get used to the controls, as you have plenty of time to complete them, which is why I like to get to the objective as fast as I can so I have time to look around the level. It's also fun rolling up entire neighborhoods and hearing the screaming souls of your victims that are about to be launched up into space to become one with the cosmos, where they will live out for the rest of their days. Yay! In some cases, they even start fighting back, like the police, who will shoot at you once you become as big as or bigger than them. Moving away from the Make a Star levels, you get to the constellation levels. There are two different objectives depending on the constellation you have to rebuild. The first is similar to the Make a Star levels, in which you have to collect a lot of a certain amount of item. For example, the Cancer constellation requires crabs because, Cancer is a crab. So the entire level is centered around getting as many crabs as possible. Although these are similar to the Make a Star levels, I find these to be much more difficult. There's usually an abundance of the item, which is a good thing, until you realize to 100% the level, you have to collect all those crabs, which puts you through a cycle of trial and error. Find the optimal path, where the hardest crabs are, and time management. This challenge definitely switches up the mood of the game, utilizing its core features to create more difficult levels, which is a nice change of pace. The other type of constellation level is one where all you have to do is roll up one of the type of the item that the level is asking you for. Usara Major's level only requires one object, a bear. You could just roll up the nearest bear and call it quits, but what kind of completionist would I be if I never tried to get the biggest bear? While only 2 levels actually use this concept in the game, I find it quite refreshing. I would normally just steamroll the level by picking up whatever shit I can, but now I have to be extra cautious so I don't actually— oh god damn it! One core thing that has led to my enjoyment of this game, and also highlights a gripe I have with it, is that I prefer to play this game in increments rather than playing it all at once. I feel that the game isn't designed to be binge, as you'll miss a lot of cool things if you're just rushing through it, like the cousins appearing in the level, or the cosmetics hidden around in every level. The gameplay can also get kinda repetitive if you play for like 3+ hours. It can take you out of the world entirely, making your experience and time with it less meaningful. Playing in increments has allowed me to go back to some levels with the incentive of trying to beat my high score, which no game has really ever done for me before. I love playing this game on any day, just because it's such a nice time, and the progression of growing the Katamari is fulfilling and relaxing. I feel that that's the true incentive of the game, not only to be a wild, wacky, and whimsical world, but to also just be a relaxing and fun time, a break from the real world. Even after I've beaten Katamari Damacy, I definitely feel there's so much enjoyment left to be had that someday I'll probably come back again to play. It's quite easy to please people with video games nowadays through game mechanics and gimmicks like gacha, different ways to move, sex appeal, PvP, guns. But I think an often overlooked part of it is its setting. To me, setting is the overall feeling of the game with things like tone, the world, visuals, music, essentially how the game wants me to feel and where I am in this game's universe. For Katamari Damacy, there are 3 key components I want to highlight: world building, art style, and music, all accomplishing Takahashi's goal of exuding feelings of weirdness and whimsiness into the player. World building breathes a lot of life into a game, especially in Katamari Damacy. I love seeing all the hyperbolized Japanese objects and people that you can roll up. A primary goal of this game was to both highlight and make fun of Japanese culture. Seeing creepy bunny mascots running around or Japanese Loki cats coming out of the ground to assault me is always a treat. It's not just creepy mascots though. There are a multitude of side characters that fill this wacky world, from policemen, to sumo wrestlers, to flamboyant sumo wrestlers, and to the Prince's expansive family. My favorite of the bunch is the Japanese delinquents. I love their goofy hair, overall vibe, and the fact that they remind me of Josuke Higashikara, the best JoJo. Dialogue in this game, although minimal, complements the Kari's feeling before and after missions. At the start of every level, the king provides small talk and always has something quirky to say about the country you're about to be in.
even though, like I said, most of the stuff you'll be picking up won't be related to it at all. But it's still pretty cool. I like how goofy the king's way of speaking is, always radiating good vibes whenever he appears on screen. There's also the dialogue with the Hoshino children that show the prince's effect on the world, demonstrating that there does exist a world outside of what the player gets to see, which is key to world building. The king and the Hoshino family are some of the only characters that have a realistic face, while everyone else takes on more of a chibi, childlike art style, with dots for eyes and simple facial features. Katamari's art style utilizes Takahashi's ideals to create a surreal experience for the player, creating a setting where there are businessmen walking around, krakens on the shores of beaches, and creepy bunny mascots lurking in parks. Seriously, what's up with them? It's like they're staring into my soul. Finally, we reach to the last, most important piece of creating a lively world in a video game. The music. God damn, are these songs all bangers. All made by a wide variety of composers, but mainly Yu Miyake. Miyake previously worked for Bandai and composed on all the Katamari and even Tekken soundtracks. Props to him for making a lot of these pieces. I've listened to the whole soundtrack multiple times while writing the script. The music adds so much silliness to the game, allowing the world to truly flourish and achieve peak bizarreness. The songs have a surreal vibe through them, either complementing or contrasting the gameplay. For example, in the Make Pisces level, the goal is to roll up as many fish as possible under the time limit, which starts to look pretty goofy after the fish start stacking up on the Katamari, and after you roll up your 10th mermaid. What really helps this level is the music, which is essentially a bunch of kids going la 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 la. So awful. The song is called Cherry Blossom Season, and it's basically a bunch of little kids, yes, real little children, singing about past memories, mainly cherry blossoms. And while heartwarming, it stands out among the rest of them as it's the only one where kids are the main vocalists. It's also kind of creepy hearing a bunch of kids singing. While not my favorite, it is Miyake's favorite, and I respect how ridiculous, creepy, and catchy the song is. Essentially, every song themes around the idea of rolling stuff up. And one of my favorites, Que Sera Sera, this guy sings about wanting to show their love to someone they know reciprocates, all expressed through multiple metaphors of rolling them up together into a star and sending them into the sky. Sweet out of context, but when paired up with the game's gameplay, it has different connotations. While everything in this soundtrack is a fucking banger, I want to highlight the two, in my opinion, best songs in the lineup. Katamari on the Rocks and Lonely Rolling Star. I love these two songs for two main reasons. One, they are so catchy. I'm definitely going to be listening to them for the rest of my life. And the second is how much they add to the game's atmosphere. If someone I know is ever interested in learning about Katamari Damacy, I definitely have them listen to Katamari on the Rocks. Both Miyake and Takahashi composed Katamari on the Rocks. And god damn, this is show! I believe Katamari on the Rocks wholly encapsulates the Katamari/Takahashi style, with an orchestrated, chaotic masterpiece. It's a song with a lot going on, implying the chaotic gameplay of Katamari Damacy, while also adding random instruments spread throughout that foreshadow the weirdness of Katamari. The vocals are a mix of Japanese and English, but it meshes really well. Paired with the opening visuals, it represents both the whimsy and charming motif of the game, making the song stand out even more. It's an amazing start to the game. Now, while Katamari on the Rocks is the undeniable banger of the whole soundtrack, Lonely Rolling Star adds a warm and comfortable feeling to the game for me. I had just gotten this game after a very difficult part of my life, and I remember booting up to the next level after a long day. As I started to play that level, the song began to play, and as it continued, I felt more relaxed with its nice tones and peaceful singing. I was a bit surprised seeing as the previous songs had been more bizarre and loud, but this one was just nice. It made me feel at ease as if all my problems had just been lifted away. It made me continue playing the game, appreciating each song more and more, while still carrying that cozy feeling while I played. Finishing it left me with a melancholy but pleasant feeling, as I'd finally done it. I created the moon, I fixed my dad's mess, and I subjected the whole world to space. It's been a wild ride, and I know I can always come back to play again. I feel as though it's one of those games that can't be binged all at once, but played over the course of a month to get the most out of it. The music in this game is one of a kind, and even if you don't want to play it, I'd implore you to listen to the OST. I'll leave a link in the description. The entire purpose of this video was to help me express my thoughts and feelings like Katamari Damacy. It's my first time making one of these types of videos, and it's been a challenge with my procrastination, but I've managed to try to keep it in the back of my mind. It's my senior year, so I do have a lot going on. However, I wanted to give this game a ground to stand on and show how great it is. I know there are sequels, but from what I've read, they weren't planned, so I don't know if I'll ever play them. But for now, I have a few parting words for Katamari Damacy. Thank you for touching my heart with lovely music, bizarre stories, and chaotic gameplay. I will remember how beautiful you are forever. I love you, Katamari. See what I did there? Haha.
分かり合うことが優しさを